Good afternoon, everyone. I want to spend a few minutes this afternoon discussing YS letter, York Service Letter, YS number 006-22, and what it concerns is the 80% furnace heat exchanger inspection discussion. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and shut my camera off because it normally streams better when I do. And then we're going to go ahead and pull that service letter up for everyone to look at as we take a look at this YS 006-22 service letter and have a good discussion about that. So this time, let's go ahead and take a look at that service letter. And so if you currently have this service letter, you'll notice that it was put out on June 8th of 2022. And that's the effective date is June 8, 2022, with it expiring on June 8, 2023, 1 year from now. So as we take a look at this letter, we're going to see that it is a safety notice of a potentially unsafe condition. And again, one more time, YS letter YS-006-22. And so what it is, it has to do with a correct or incorrect, suspected incorrect heat exchanger build on the 80% efficiency of furnaces. Now, as we go down and we look at the letter, we see that we're talking Johnson Controls. There is a potential for injury if this furnace is put into injury or death. If this furnace is put in and it is not corrected or it is not found. Basically, what's happened, and I want to stress something, team. This is really, really important. Out of the multiple thousands and thousands and thousands of these furnaces that we've built, we've only found to date only 4 furnaces. And so this is a very, very, very low number, a very limited number of products, but we wanted to still make sure just to be very transparent and also to be very cautious for everyone and our distributor partners. We want to make sure everyone is aware of this YS letter concerning this potential hazard. So basically all products shipped after April 26th of 2022 have been inspected our facility and confirmed to be configured correctly. Now, again, in an abundance of caution, Johnson Controls is further extending this inventory inspection to all of our distribution channels. So basically our Champion partners, our York partners, our Coleman partners, and so on will all be sharing in this similar letter. So let's take a look at some of the actions that are going to be required. If you have not shipped or commissioned this product and you're one of our distributor partners, specifically our Wind Supply distributor partners, and the manufacture date is prior to April 26, 2022, we're going to ask that you please do not ship or install this new product without inspecting it as directed below. Now, to inspect it, it's going to be pretty simple. Basically, most of our locations, what they're doing, they're cutting about a 2 to 4 inch hole or a flap in the very top of the carton of these furnaces. And to inspect, what you're going to do, you're going to open the top of the carton, you're going to look inside, and then you're going to actually physically look at the heat exchanger. Now, on the left-hand side, if you can see my cursor, this is acceptable. This is what a heat exchanger should look like. You're going to notice that the actual tubes on the heat exchanger are going to be flat on the top. So these flattened tubes, they actually improve heat exchange, and it's a good way just to tell if they're upside down or not. Now, on the right-hand side, you're going to see that the round tubes are on top, and that means it's upside down. So one more time, if you take a look at where my cursor is on the left-hand side, if the tubes are flat and they're at the top of the furnace, that is the correct orientation of the heat exchanger tubes. And again, we flatten those and we do some things with them to improve the efficiency of the furnace. But it's important that they are in the furnace in the proper orientation in order for it to seal properly and to vent properly. Now, one of the things I would like to discuss also is that if you should happen to have one of these installed, one of the first things that's going to be noticeable is the high limit cutout, or the high limit safety switch will go out if this thing is upside down. So what the contractor would do normally, if he had a high temperature cutout, some of the things that he would do, number one, he would check his airflow to make sure he doesn't have an airflow blockage causing the high temperature limit to go out. In addition, he would investigate and take a look and make sure his gas pressure was properly set up, whether it's for natural gas or propane. And if all that looks good, then the next thing would be to suspect that, well, maybe we have a heat exchanger blockage or something like that. And again, team, I want to stress out of the thousands and multiple thousands and thousands of these furnaces, we've only found 4 so far that have had this issue. So what we're doing, we're asking our distribution partners to check your inventory. And again, you know, what works really, really well is just cut a little 2 to 4 inch flap at the top of the carton, open it up and take a look at the top of that furnace. Now be sure when you cut that flap that you don't, you know, go so deep that you're going to hit anything or damage anything, but just cut a little flap in the top of the carton, take a flashlight and look down inside there and make sure those tubes are the flattened tubes that are on top. That's acceptable. And one more time, team, if we take a look at it and we see that the round tubes are on top, like we see in the picture here on the right-hand side of this YS letter on this second page, if we take a look at the picture, we see those round tubes are at top, that's unacceptable. That means that heat exchanger is upside down. Now, after the inspection, we're going to ask that you put a quality hold on it. If you do happen to find one, it's going to be very rare if you do. Again, we've only found 4 out of the multiple thousands that we've produced. And anything after April, they've already been inspected anyway. But nevertheless, if you should find one, we're going to ask that you tag it and you're going to put it on quality hold, and you're not going to put it out for installation at all, but it's going to be for return only, So we don't want it getting installed. We don't want the contractor to buy it and then put a new heat exchanger in it. We want it brought back to the factory. We do not want it installed. Let me stress that one more time. We do not want this installed under any circumstances. Finally, this letter will allow a $25 inspection fee for each serial number reported. And please remember, you know, when you do the inspection, please either take a picture and or write down the serial number, write down the inspection date, write down the model, the exact model number, and so on, and keep that information. And then we're going to send that off to our technical support folks down our technical support engineer, Casey McConney. Casey is going to be receiving those as per the service letter, so be sure that he gets it. And as we report that to our technical team down at the factory. In addition, you're going to notice that there's in the service letter there is a technical services email, that BE-AMS so on. You can report that in that subject email, and it'll be, if you'll please title that the HX or heat exchanger warranty inspection process, so we can email that in. But we want to make sure that our technical folks down at the factory have got this information. They're going to be keeping a running list of how many furnaces have been inspected and who has inspected them and stuff like that. And we do apologize for the inconvenience, but this is a safety issue, and we just wanted to make sure we had a little training video on this and what to do, and be sure and get up with our technical support folks, myself, or your regional account manager of your champion team, whoever your regional account manager is, and for a current copy of this YS letter. But at this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude our video, and this video will be housed out on our YouTube training channel, and it'll be titled YS-006-22 80% furnace inspection, and today's date of 06/13/2022. Thank you so much for your attention to this detail. And by all means, please call myself or anybody on your champion team if you have further questions, and have a great day and be safe. Thank you.